Well, our environmental history started with the polluted lakes. So we started a program in the beginning of the 60s to restore the 4 polluted lakes in the city center. And now we have restored 3 out of 4 lakes, and the 4th lake is to come in future. And we have a very ambitious environmental agenda. As being the first city in the world taking a declaration, all political parties, to be a fossil fuel-free city. So we have a very high ambition in all environmental issues.
What led to that ambition?
When I became mayor first time in '91, I gathered the executive committee. We went abroad for a week and discussed on what issue should we work together, or what kind of issues we don't agree. So since then we have agreed 8 parties in the city council about all environmental issues, and we decided in '91 to become the best environmental city in Sweden, and we adopted a very good program, a very advanced and progressive program. And we created natural park. We continued to restore the lake. We started to introduce bioenergy. We connected all citizens to the bioenergy plant. We started a challenge for more public transports. We encouraged more people to bike instead of using the car. We encourage people to buy environmental cars, for example. So we have a full agenda of what to do to be better each year.
What was the condition of your lakes at that time?
The conditions, well, we started already from a good level, because our emissions are very low in Sweden, and was low from the beginning. But we have cut our emissions with 36% since we started to measure, and the ambition is to be totally free from fossil energy to 2030. And we might not succeed, but maybe until 2040.
What are the things you had to take into consideration when implementing such a strategy?
Well, heating is not a problem anymore, because all houses are extremely well insulated. And the houses we have, they are heated by bioenergy and by biomass. And we have a lot of forest in Sweden, and we only use 75% of the annual growth. So there are more forests to use for different purposes. Then we also set very tough regulations for new buildings. So all new buildings in our city must be passive houses which don't need any extra energy, just the tap water, and we get the tap water from the biofuel plant. And the biofuel plant also produces electricity for 50% of the citizens in our area. So it's very nice. And we also know that 60% of all consumed energy comes from renewable, from windmills, from bioenergy, from small water hydro plants, etc. So the challenge now is to have a high demand for more environmental cars. All city cars are environmental cars, and we have a challenge between citizens, companies, and the city, of course, to buy more environmental cars. It could be electrical cars, hybrid cars, and low consumption cars of all kinds. So, and the mayor must set a good example. So I drive a biogas car, for example, and use a hybrid car at office.
You said about it, you had to put into place regulations. What sort of regulations are you talking about?
Well, we talk about the carrot and the whip. Sweden has introduced the highest CO2 tax in the world, and that has been, and it's not very easy to explain, but it has been very good for our industry, because we have defined and worked with environmental technique, with energy saving. So our our companies, they earn a lot of money, because we are one of the best countries in the world to work with environmental technique and energy saving. So it's good, very good for the industry also, and the renewables are good for the local business life.
Was there any difficulty getting the community behind your strategy?
No, not really, because the companies have been with us and the university. So we have worked together with NGOs, with the university and with the companies. And the companies in Sweden, they are very pro-environmental. They think that if they have a clean record, they sell more products and services. So, and when we also have a public purchase, we also ask each company what kind of environmental standard they have from each company, and we also ask them for, that's very Swedish also, we ask them if they have a plan for gender and equal opportunity, so we can influence a lot by public purchasing.
So how do you treat your effluent in your city?
You mean wastewater?
Wastewater
is totally clean. We have the best technique in the world. So the wastewater, when it comes out from the plant, is almost drinkable. It goes back to a fresh lake, the wastewater, and the wastewater doesn't affect the lake and the lake system.
You have a cleaning system for your wastewater?
Yes, all wastewater, a very good cleaning system. And we have in most countries in Europe a very good cleaning system. So, for example, in many parts of Germany, they take the drinking water from the same river as they put the sewage water, because the technique is so developed and so good.
Do you see what you've done in the city as being a solution for the world?
Well, I think you could do something could be done at any local level. You just need a toolbox, but we have some advantages because of the decentralization in many countries in Europe, and especially in Scandinavia, because there's so much power at the local level, and we almost have all the toolbox. We own the energy company, we own the net, electrical net, and we own all facility and have enough budget to deal with all environmental issues. So we are very fortunate, and I think also that we have more continuity in our local politics, because you vote for a party, not for a person. A person could be away of the next election, but the party remain. So if the party gives a promise, it must be fulfilled, whoever is representing the party. So you have a lot of advantages with your system, and we have advantages with our system.
You say we, are you saying the utilities are state-owned?
Yes, most of our utilities are state-owned and local-owned, but on the other hand, we use a lot of private contractors. So waste management is done by a private contractor. But we set the standard, the city council set the standard, and we also use a lot of private contractors. And we also use private contractors for different kinds of services, for example, schools and childcare.
Just a curiosity, what's the consequence of not abiding by regulations on pollution? For not abiding by the regulations?
Yes, of course, we have a lot of regulations at the national level, but we want to go further at the local level. So our local standard is tougher than on the national level, and our ambition is much higher. And it's the same. Many cities in Sweden have a higher ambition than the national government, for example, for energy efficiency.
So what are your thoughts about the future of your city? Are you confident at all?
Yes, we're very confident, because as being the greenest city in Europe, we attract new businesses to be started in our city, because many businesses would like to stay in the greenest city in Europe, and our population is also increasing. So we benefit a lot from the good and clean environment we have in the city.
What do you see as being the threats to your goals?
Nothing really. But because we are also part of the world and what's going on in other countries, we are not an isolated place in the world. If you think economical and ecological, everything fits together. So we are part of the world, and we are part of the solution also.
If another city was looking to adopt a similar approach to dealing with pollution, what would you suggest they do?
Work together, all political parties or all politicians, try to set a target and just go for it. It's simple as that.